Hey guys, Metal Breakdown here. So I really wanted to have ranking from worst to best episode for when I'll be in vacation. So that's why I'm doing episode number 10 today, featuring Disturbed. I don't know why I'm doing them today because at first I was planning on doing like Parkway Drive for the last 2 weeks to see where Reverence would land, but I just need to listen more to their album because I'm still unsure on how I will rank them. So yeah, in the next few weeks, especially when I'll be in vacation and I'll just relax on the beach, I'll probably listen to Parkway a lot, and then I'll be able to truly rank them after that. So it will probably come out in August if you're looking forward to this episode. But the reason I picked Disturb, I don't know. I was at work today and I thought, oh, which band should I do rank them all without having to listen to everything by them again? And I went with Disturb, but I was listening to Believe in My Car this morning on the way to work, so that might have influenced everything. But yeah, for Disturb, I know exactly how I'll rank every album, and this is what we'll talk about in this video, guys. So let's fucking do this, guys, for the 10th episode of my ranking from worst to best series. So let's fucking do this. In the 7th position, I went with The Lost Children. Yeah, guys, I know there's only 6 albums by Disturbed, but I know that if I did not include The Lost Children, you guys would have complained and said, oh, where do you rank The Lost Children? So I'm saying it just in case. But yeah, the reason why it's in the last position is because it's a B-side album, so like every worst songs, well, not worst songs, but every songs from each album session that did not make the album because they were not good enough according to the band members. So yeah, that's why it's not beating any album they did. So yeah, in the 6th position, I went with the latest album by the band Immortalize. It's really not that bad, but for a comeback album, 5 years after your last album, if you don't count The Lost Children, of course, it's not as that great, and it could have been way better. With the first single, The Vengeful One, I was hoping for the best album ever because this song is really that great. I love it so much. I even have it in my head right now, even if I did not listen to it for like maybe 2 years ago when I saw Disturbed live. The Light is also a really good single. It's really cool when they play it live with everyone putting their cell phone or lighter in the air. So cool. But I'm not a big fan of the Sound of Silence, the cover. It's really overrated. And their other single, which was a song about pot, it's a bit stupid. I love it at first, but yeah, it's called Fire It Up. So overall, this album is really not that bad. I just think it could have been better, especially for a comeback album, and hopefully the album that they will release later this year will be better than this one. Now, entering the top 5, guys, I went with the album Asylum. Probably my favorite album cover of them all, but for the album, it was going downhill a bit. Probably because they were kind of tired to be a band. Maybe not tired, but they wanted to do something else, and that's why they took the hiatus of almost 5 years. But there's still some really great songs on this album. The first song, Asylum, is really great. Should have been with the intro. Should be only one song in my opinion. I always thought that way. The Animal is crazy. Warrior. Serpentine, I love it. Probably my favorite of the album, mainly because of the opening riff. It's crushing. Super great album. But we kind of feel that this band was getting tired and that they needed the hiatus. And this is another reason why I thought Indestructible would be even better. Now, guys, in the fourth position, I went with Believe, their second album, and the latest album I discovered. I know Disturbed since like 5 or 6 years, even maybe 7 or 8 years, because yeah, I know them since Asylum, so yeah, 8 years ago. But I only discovered Believe like last year. It's the only album I never listened to because I thought the album cover was weird, and I saw a ranking sometimes saying it was the worst, but it's clearly not the worst because it's in the fourth spot on my ranking. The first song, Prayer, is insane, but my other favorites are really weird because they're not usually the favorites of the other people, but my two other favorite songs from this album are Devour and Intoxication. My favorite is Intoxication, really strong song. I don't know, I just love it so much, and Liberate, the second song on the album, is also really strong, so definitely an album worth checking out. It's in my car since I discovered it almost last year, almost a year ago. Not because I love it that much, but just because I have 60 slots and always forgot to remove that one for a new one. So yeah, that's why I even listened to it this morning. Now, entering the top 3, I went with the very first album by this band, Sickness, and I could almost switch position number 3 and 2, which I'll talk about next, because for me they're both as good, but after all, I decided to put the Sickness in the third position. Favorite songs from this album are Voices, A Game, Down with the Sickness, Stupefy, Numb. It's full of classic, and I talked about it yesterday in the video, but it's so rare that bands do a super strong album as their debut album. Yeah, Korn did it, Bullet for My Valentine did it, but there's some other band like Avenged Sevenfold or Trivium that were not quite there yet with their first album. So it's kind of rare that it happened, but yeah, The Sickness is one of the best by Disturbed, in my top 3, and one of the best album by them according to many fans. I know that some fans even rank this album as the best one, so yes, super strong one. In the second position, the album that could have almost been third, like I just said, I went with 10,000 Fists. Super strong album as well, a bit stronger than The Sickness by that. But because they're more classic in this album, I would say that's why I'm ranking it out higher. 10,000 Fists, one of their best songs ever. Stricken, also one of their biggest. Guarded. Decadence is also one of my favorites. The last one, Afaris, is also pretty good. So yeah, that's why this one is in the second place, just because the big songs on 10,000 Fists are a bit bigger than the big songs on The Sickness. Of course, there's no bigger song than Down with the Sickness, but just overall more big songs on this one. And in the first spot, on the first spot, you guessed it right, I went with Indestructible. So yeah, my favorite, because all the songs on it are insane. I can listen to it from start to finish, and I'm not skipping anything. Indestructible, Inside Fire, The Night, Haunted, The Curse, Defied Facade, all insane songs. I could name them all because they're all that great. And yeah, 2008 was a really fucking strong year for metal. Disturbed released their best album, in my opinion. Trivium did the same thing with Shogun. Yeah, I wish I could have discovered these two in 2008, and I was old enough. I was 12 years old back then, so yeah, it's a shame that I did not discover them back then. Anyway, you have it for this 10th episode of Ranking from Worst to Best series. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. I'm kind of tired, so I might have a lot of problem. I might have had a lot of problem with my English in that one, because yeah, it's my 5th video that I'm filming today. Last one I'm filming before leaving for vacation. Whew. And I worked for almost 10 hours, so my brain is dead, and it's always like that. Each time I'm tired, I have so much difficulties with my second language, which is English, because yeah, you probably guessed it, English is not my first language, my first language being French. So that's pretty much it. Just tell me your ranking in the comment section. It would be cool to compare it with mine. Do you agree with me or not at all? Because I know that some fans really liked Indestructible and not Indestructible. What am I saying, guys? Immortalize. So yeah, I know a lot of you like Immortalize, and some people even ranked it in the top 3 or even as their best. So it would be cool to compare. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll see you all next time.